So usually I'm here to spread the word about bands to y'all, but this time I need suggestions from you. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, Jon Barbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's Riff of the Week. So, Nik Nocturnal just announced that he's going on an indefinite hiatus from YouTube. And now I don't know where to get my metalcore news from. I try to cover all of metal, but that's not really possible all by myself. It would be like a cooking channel trying to cover all of cooking. They can do a lot of things, but some things are going to suffer. They're not going to be as good. They might be really great at cooking Italian and Thai food, but also Mexican and Ethiopian. You simply cannot be an expert in everything. And not that I would call myself an expert, but undeniably, extreme metal is my lane. For death and black metal made after 2020, I'm your man. But at the same time, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. There's no rules here. So I want to be able to cover other genres when I can. For example, I'm not really a power metal guy, but I was happy to have Seven Kingdoms on, and I loved that All for Metal record. So when I find it interesting, I want to cover it. And I feel the same way about metalcore, or as Nik Nocturnal would call it, modern metal. But I can only do so much. Heavy Metal Philosophy is a one-man operation. I have 3 other jobs, and pretty much every waking moment is spent listening to or thinking about extreme metal. So I really relied on Nik Nocturnal for my metalcore and deathcore information. I mean, if you're going to look into something, shouldn't you look to the guy who has the most experience covering it? And I know right about now, some of you, the metalheads, are saying, who cares about metalcore? And listen, am I running out the door and chomping at the bit to go cover the next We Came as Romans concert? No. And that's no shade at We Came as Romans. I'm just using them as an example of the kind of metalcore that I'm not really into. But what I am saying, if it wasn't for Nik Nocturnal, I wouldn't know about Marar. I wouldn't know about Psychoframe. I wouldn't know about Village Harta. I wouldn't know about Disembodied Tyrant. So yeah, he covers Bring Me the Horizon when they drop new stuff. Of course, I cover Metallica when they drop new stuff. In our respective lanes, we cover the big bands when they drop new stuff. But also in our respective lanes, we both cover up-and-coming bands. So for metalcore, modern metal, deathcore, whatever you want to call it, Nik really had his ears to the ground there, and I leaned on his content for that information. So I'm kind of hoping that one of you can point me towards another metalcore source while Nik is on his hiatus. I've got people I look to for power metal and alternative and goth, people that are much deeper into those genres than I am, while I'm over here in my death metal bubble. And since we're on the subject, let's talk about why is metal's biggest creator stepping away? At least I think he's the biggest. Is there any other metal channels with over 1 million subscribers?
I've been doing content for over 11 years now. And the reason I started making content all the way back then was because I wanted to share music with people. I wanted to share metal, talk about it. I didn't have that really growing up. I didn't have people to talk about metal or breakdowns or 5/7/8s or guitar with that I could relate to. I was always kind of the weird one out that just, I didn't felt like I really belonged.
I feel that. I started Heavy Metal Philosophy for the same reason. I grew up out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. I was the only metalhead around for miles. Other than my brother and a couple of kids at school, I had nobody to talk to about metal. And so after I graduated, I moved to the city and I found my scene and I had my fun. But then the pandemic happened. And after the pandemic, I moved once again to the middle of nowhere in the woods. And once again, I'm the only metalhead for miles.
And that led me to what a lot of you guys might know, of course, as the OG, fast cover Nik guitar guy with CP24 on the TV.
Yeah, in the mid-2010s, that's about when I discovered Nik doing his metalcore guitar covers. I was looking for guitar stuff on YouTube, and, all the big guitar YouTubers, they teach stuff that I already know. Metallica, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix. I wanted new stuff to learn, and I found Nik Nocturnal.
The channel over 11 years has been through such an insane journey, and it has been the most incredible thing I have been a part of in my entire life. And it's something I will always be thankful for. It's something I'll always be blessed to have done this for literally my entire adult life since I was 17 years old. I'm going to be 29 soon.
Yeah, your priorities definitely change once you get into your 30s. He says he's 29, about to be 29. Basically in his 30s, when you're in your 20s, that's your time to grind. And he definitely did that.
There's been so many ups, but with the ups, there's been a lot of downs. And my personal life is not something I necessarily share with you guys. I mean, my whole adult life has been basically broadcasted on the internet.
It's also kind of crazy to think about that he did this at such a high level all throughout his 20s and never really had much in the way of a big controversy, unlike a lot of his YouTube peers from that era.
So the little bit of space, personal stuff, family things I have, I don't really share with you guys. And I don't think it's the space, because I always want to keep that space something positive and fun and exciting. But over those years, there's been times where there's been a lot of scary moments in my life where I've lost family members, or losing half of my family, or losing friends, or people, or not taking care of myself and completely neglecting just normal daily health existing things, because I've just been so obsessed with YouTube and music and wanting to give everything I can to just build this crazy community and see how far we can go. But a lot of people don't realize over those times of me, going through things in my life, is when I actually was uploading the most, whether it was like the How to Metal series or like the crazy cover binge. Like, I have a very unhealthy relationship with content where I will go through shit, and instead of necessarily dealing with it in that moment, 2 hours later, I'm like, all right, someone just, that's close to me passed away. Like, I guess let's go do the stream or get the YouTube video finished, which again, like, I have the most blessed job in the world, and I'll never take that for granted. But I've never taken that proper time to just absorb things like that, like a normal, I think, human basically would. I would reach so many points throughout these years of total burnout, where most people have talked about burnout. They stop, they take a break, they deal with it. I would just burn.
Yeah, bro, that's tough. I really hope that this break is good and Nik finds what he's looking for. This content creator as a career thing is pretty new. There's not really a playbook or best practices yet for how to deal with it, especially in the face of individual circumstances.
In those moments, I would just say, look, shit's tough, but like, you have the most blessed thing in the world. Like, you can do this. You have a channel, you have a community that cares, you have music. Like, just, who cares? Just go, just do what you have to do. And I did that, and I would always do that. And, a lot of those things over time, just time heals, and, I've made peace with them, but I've never actually taken the time to not just burn. I was not okay in many of those moments, and I should have taken a second and stopped. But as I got older, I think what I realized the most is it's okay to take time. And I never did that.
I definitely understand this too. In some minor ways, I might understand it more since I've been doing this as well as having a full-time day job. But even without that, Nik fully understands how lucky he is, what a privileged position he's in. And in recognizing that, he never really took any mental health breaks. He's like, I'm lucky to have this. I have to keep going. It's funny because we often want people, especially people in Nik's position, to have a perspective on their lives. But here in this case, having a good perspective on his position actually stopped him from doing what was best for him.
And that's where I think when it comes to the now, there has been so much happening, whether it's been, you know, all the projects that have developed over the years, the amazing things we've had, and, you know, like the awards show, the battle of the bands thing, the music, working with all these artists, having the shorts of How to 30 Seconds into the full thing, the streams, the album parties, the million projects I have, where I've spread myself so thin that I know the foundation is not solid enough to withhold another time of going through that crazy burnout. And I need to take a second and just figure out my life. I need to step back. My entire adult life, I've been on the internet. You know, you're sitting there, what's happening in the scene, what band's doing this, what's releasing this. I've never just taken a second to just disconnect. And I need to step back and just disconnect for a while. I need to remember to go outside.
I swear to God, if Nik comes back from this break and he doesn't have those dark circles around his eyes anymore because he went outside, I'm going to lose my mind. Just kidding, Nik. I love you.
Like, I need to deal with health shit. I need to just make sure that I'm in check. Because if not, then I know it's going to further, hurt any creativity, and then in the end hurt content, and then hurt the community that I care the most about, that we've built over so many years. So I need to take a step back and just disconnect from everything, from content.
It's pretty clear to me from watching this that Nik is going through something heavy right now, but in spite of that, watch, when he mentions his community, he still smiles. That's awesome. He recognizes what an awesome thing he has, and he appreciates it. He appreciates all of them and all the things that he's done.
There's so many things that we've had going that, will hopefully eventually continue. We have things like Core Kid that's kind of its own business that doesn't really require to be nonstop on the internet. Like, that will continue, and it's its own thing. But anything with content, or me, or streaming, and whatever it might be, posting, like, I need to step back and disconnect, man. I need to take the time and I need to figure out my shit. And I want to give again a thank you to all of you that have been here since, whether you're here from the start, whether you are here since yesterday, for showing the support, for caring about this thing we do here, fun metal things, for being able to come together as a community, to be a place to share shit with, to have people to relate to. Like, I don't think you guys will ever understand how much that means to me. And to all the musicians that have come on the show and also shared that with us and have worked with us, and the people that have helped along the way, it means the world. We've accomplished such crazy things that, again, if I told this to 17-year-old Nik, hey, there's one day this is all going to happen, there's going to be a crazy award show.
Oh, the Nik Nocturnal Awards. Please, Nik, at least come back and do the Nik Nocturnal Awards at the end of the year. It's so good for the community. It's pretty much the only metal-focused award show besides maybe Golden Gods. Just come do that one thing. And once again, I would love to offer you my services for an extreme metal category. Let me help you. Death metal forever, Nik. No, in all seriousness, I hope that Nik takes all the time he needs and gets exactly what he needs out of it. In the meantime, I need to know if any of you have a good metalcore source for me. Not Reddit, though. I don't need another social media platform to manage, lest I burn out like Nik as well. I need something that I can listen to while I work, while I labor. I don't want to be staring at a screen and scrolling through a bunch of nonsense. Your boy has 4 jobs. And speaking of, I owe y'all a riff of the week.
That's something that just makes me happy to know. So thank you guys all for that. Now with that, I didn't want to leave without giving you guys a little bit of a parting gift. So as this video is out and you've been watching, I have just released a special EP, which is a 2000s metalcore throwback EP with some modern touches. It's basically a reference to the era of all the music I grew up listening to that I love close to my heart even to this day, with a lot of the incredible musicians that I grew up listening to and these bands I loved. So the EP features All That Remains, Darkest Hour, Caliban, Buried Immoral, The Ghost Inside, and it's a banger. It's something I'm very proud of, and much love to everyone who was involved. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a snippet of one of the songs here, but if you can, it's out now. Go stream it on Spotify. Go watch the album stream on YouTube. I'm going to be uploading that too, and just enjoy and share it around if you like. Yeah, that's my parting gift to you guys. And if you take anything away from this, it's that I hope you guys continue to just share music and enjoy that beautiful thing, because not everyone in the world gets to do that, and I hope to see the community continue to grow that we have in Discord or whatnot, and just the community as a whole continue to grow. And I hope you guys never forget, because I know I won't, that we did fun metal things here. I hope you guys enjoy the EP. It's called The Lost Chapters. It's out now. Yeah. Bye, guys.
But most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.